Hello there, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome back to Everlasting Summer, our last mode from some user. And I finally got myself a freaking glass in which I can pour some water. Okay, it was getting dark. I should have probably asked the pioneer what happened after I lost consciousness during the beating at the square. Maybe they are looking for me. Or they think I'm already dead. In any case, I should be careful. Right now, the various skills obtained during the time spent in all these endless loops would be useful. But a one-handed, one-legged cripple hardly makes a good fighter. At first glance, the square looked empty. No pioneers, no birds, none of the squirrels that plentifully inhabited the forest around the camp. And the air was ringing with a dangerous silence, like the lull before a fight, or like a minefield bypassed by both people and beasts. Take a step and you will be blown to pieces. If only it was really so easy. But I can't just stand and wait. I have to get to the infirmary, wash and bandage my wounds, drink a painkiller and antibiotics. The first steps through the square were difficult to take, more because of the oppressive tension than my battle wounds. I somehow dragged myself to the end of it, walked along the narrow pathway, reached the infirmary and had already started to mess with the lock when I suddenly heard a familiar rustle in the bushes nearby. Certainly that is not a beast or bird, that's a human. For I understood well that the rampaging pioneers won't hide themselves, they act openly now. I don't know who's hiding there, but you'd better get out, or else... Or else what? Exactly. In this condition I can hardly even pose more of a treat than the arrogant little girl. It's just me. The shy pioneer almost whispered, coming out of her hover. Oh, it's you. Asked sarcastically. Alone? And where are the others? For, yeah, you alone will be sufficient. No, I can't go if I'm disturbing you. Stay, things can't get any worse anyway. I was vainly messing with the lock. Of course it wasn't hard for me to pick it with even a toothpick or a match, but for that I needed healthy fingers, while mine were all covered with hematomas and bruises, their every second joint dislocated. The most complicated action I'm capable of now is holding the pioneer flag and idly swinging it over my head. A dumb pastime on its own, but the local pioneers can make me do worse. Maybe I can help? How? With moral support? I've got a... She stopped mid-dance and held out a bunch of keys to me. How? Yeah, I didn't expect something like this, but I wasn't really surprised. I had other things on my mind. I took them from Slavia. Just like that? You want to tell me she gave them to you without even asking why you needed them? Well, I said I don't feel well and didn't want to bother her, so I could go to the infirmary by myself. Yeah, great pretext. Slyness, harshness and pretense. They say that behind every strong man stands a strong woman. I remembered about the second pack of Cosmos that the pioneer gifted to me. The cigarettes turned out to be considerably crumpled, but I still managed to find a couple of intact ones. Okay, the keys would be really useful. That was smart of you. Thank you. The girl smiled almost unnoticeably. What if she isn't hiding a knife behind her back? Where are these thoughts even coming from for? The presumption of innocence had never worked in this world so far, and especially now deeming everyone around to be hostile a priori would the most correct thing to do. I carefully looked the girl up and down. What? Is there something wrong with me? I just don't even know. You better tell me, is everything right with you or not? I don't understand you. The pioneer girl was clearly embarrassed and upset. Well, while she is at least pretending to be good, I should use it. It would be hard to bandage all my wounds by myself, with unbending arms. Don't mind it, if you really want to help. The infirmary was brightly illuminated by the fluorescent lamps hanging from the ceiling. With some difficulty I clambered onto the couch and tried to take my shirt off. Let me help. Okay, go on. On the right and the left sides around my belly were reddening, terrible looking patches of bruises. I must have broken several ribs, or maybe it's the other way around, and only a few of them remained unbroken. Every moment echoed with the pain inside. Can't you be more careful? Sorry! The pioneer started to undress me, zealously even. Finally I was left in only my shorts. Wait! We have to wipe the wounds with iodine, disinfect them. Yeah, sure, so I would like the brown beer. No thanks, let's do it with hydrogen peroxide, it's in the desk drawer. The pioneer didn't argue. For hydrogen peroxide or iodine, it still stings the same. I had to make an inhuman effort to not shout out loud. Does it hurt? What do you think? I hissed through clenched teeth. Then the pioneer started to bandage me. Every time she had to grab the bandage on the other side, she was almost pressing herself against me. Here. Let us weep, said with the feeling of duty well done. She's overacting. The thought flashed in my head. Yeah, that's better. Not that I really felt better, rather I was just more certain that I would be almost healed no later than tomorrow. But that will be tomorrow. I tried to get up to walk and to the drug cabinet, but my head suddenly started spinning and I had to sit on the couch again. Get me an Algin and well, that. Did I forget the contents of the local medicine chest? I raised a hand to my forehead, it was hot. Something for the tetanus, I know, it's written there in the instructions. The girl bustled about and soon returned with a pile of multicolored pills. What's that? Like you asked. I was taking a risk, of course, but it clearly couldn't get any worse. And water to wash it down. I swallowed the pills and barely managed to stretch myself out on the couch. The pioneer girl sat on the chair nearby and started to look at me patiently. What does she need after all? The suspense was tiring. I just wanted to sleep, to drift off and forget about this mad world for at least some time. Or better yet, wake up in another one. Let them end what they've begun and finish me off. Or this shy girl. And how long are you planning on sitting here? If I'm disturbing you, I can leave. Nope, you are not. Suddenly in my head appeared a wild but not senseless idea. You can even help. The girl gave me an inquiring look. Take that jar, see? I barely raised a hand and pointed at the needed medicine. Now draw a full syringe from it. Nah. You mean you're serious about it? Xenia's face was burning and her voice sounded not even surprised, scared. Quiet. No, you must really be out of your mind. What's the big deal? Even in the worst case, the new lupins in a couple of days, no one will even remember about it. I will, that's enough already. So, your answer is no. My answer is stop bullying me. She tried to get up, but I firmly caught her by the hands. Hey! Instead of trying to break free, Xenia laughed and pressed herself against me. Are you really not joking? What if we do get out of here after all? You haven't talked about that for a while. I haven't, but I know. If in the real world you expect to just forget and pretend you haven't said anything now, then... No, both here and in the real world my words are sincere. Even so, it's just hard to believe, so suddenly. What's sudden about it? How long have we known each other? I've long since lost count of the loops. I'm still counting for... Xenia said quietly and hugged me even tighter. Alright, and we are back with Lena in the infirmary. What's going to happen? I have a bad feeling actually. I mean, you remember what was in Miku's road? Because I remember. And even in my last road, I remember what happened. So, there is something to be afraid. A little bit. The girl obediently filled the syringe with the colorless, transparent liquid and handed it to me. No, when you do ever see a patient giving himself injections? But I don't know how to. There is nothing difficult about it. It's just that for me in this world there was still the one and only taboo, suicide. I was ready, and even wanted to die at the hands of mad pioneers or a lethal injection, but ending my own life. For some reason it seemed that I couldn't even explain why and never tried to check. Maybe it was all because of that fear of uncertainty that had possessed me in the past 24 years, or maybe it's all much simpler and the reason is a simple self-preservation instinct. Regardless, I was sure that if I'm killed by someone else, I will immediately wake up in a new loop, but ready for everything now. The only problem was the fact that this girl clearly wasn't going to help me with my voluntary quietus. No, what if I do something wrong? It's better to call the nurse. I'll go. I'll be back soon. The nurse was the last thing I damn well needed here right now. I wouldn't mind Viola joining. Wait. I barely raised myself up on an elbow and grabbed her by the hand. Don't you worry, I've done it hundreds of times and I will teach you to. There's nothing difficult about it. The girl wavered. First take the tourniquet. Wait, what? Why would she need a tourniquet? It's used when taking blood. Okay, don't take the tourniquet. The pioneer girl laid the tourniquet on the table near me. I moved my left hand to the side to make it more convenient for her. Maybe we shouldn't after all. I won't even feel anything. Her hands were shaking, the needle jumping left and right. If she misses the vine, it won't be pretty. Euthanasia through the drugs from a Soviet medical kit is a precarious pleasure as is. Don't look at me like that, the girl suddenly said. I'm looking at you how? Don't get distracted. I can't do it like this. Oh, here we go. I made a helpless sigh and jerked my hand away from her. Okay, forget it. I'll just sleep and be alright tomorrow. Don't forget to turn the lights off and close the door when you leave. The girl obediently headed towards the exit but froze halfway. Are you really in a lot of pain? I really am. What does it matter now? I will just enter it. I could do it. Only if you close your eyes. So if I close them, what will change? It will be easier for me. Like you're sleeping. Her eyes smiled. Oh, right, I will close them. Doesn't seem to be anything scary. The girl walked up to me and took the syringe. So? Yeah. I closed my eyes, and at the same second, a thought flashed through my brain. Why am I even trusting her so blindly? Just half an hour ago, when standing on the porch, I was thinking very differently. Something pressed me on the couch with a strength that made me unable to move my arms and legs. This bitch! The pioneer girl with the tourniquet in her hands leaned over me. A second later, it tied it around my neck. What are you? I wheezed. Even if this is the if I'm searching her for, it shouldn't be like this, not being struck with a tourniquet. No, wait, I'm not ready. The pioneer was pulling even harder, a mad grimace on her face, mouth grinning at a village smile, sunken eyes opened wide, and even seeming to glow with some unnatural light. I vainly tried to break free, the injuries and fatigue didn't let me. Here comes the noxemia, everything getting blurry in front of my eyes. I closed them, but the imprint of the crazy grimace is still left on the inner side of my eyelids. At the edge of my mind, I hear the creak of the opening door. The devilish pioneer loosens her grip and then the face of another girl is already leaning over me. Let's go, now! A familiar voice whispers to me. Someone help me get up. I leaned on them and stumbled away from the infirmary. Okay, we are running again, like in the very beginning. So where are we going? To the forest, where else? Alright. We're going slowly, often stumbling and bumping into everything. I was passing out and coming to all the time, but just couldn't raise my head and was only looking at my feet. The paving stone in front of the infirmary gave way to the asphalt of the square, and then it to earth covered by fallen leaves and fir needles. At last we stopped, and with difficulty I sank to the ground and looked around. Seems like the same clearing the pioneer dragged me to. I'm walking in some hellish circles today. I tried smearing but coughed immediately. The back of my hand got covered in blood. Alright, let's end this here and we'll continue in the next episode, where we'll probably get our ass kicked by Slavia. Not that we didn't deserve it. After all, Semyon is a really terrible person in this story. Alright, see you in the next one. Bye.